If you're looking to bring your spouse into the United States, you need to know the 3 best ways to do that. Hi everyone, I'm attorney Lee Marvin. I've been specializing in immigration law for over a decade in my home office of Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I help immigrants anywhere in the country, really anywhere in the world. So if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Please subscribe and please click the notification bell so you get notified of future videos and other updates when immigration changes, which is kind of all the time, okay? So I want you to stick around a bit because I'm going to point out the 3 best ways to get your spouse into the United States and a very important tip as well, okay? So stick around. So the complexity of immigration law is nothing new. It's not a secret. It's very well known. I've produced many videos about different topics in immigration law to help people understand this overly complex and bureaucratic area of the world. Governmental bureaucracy is extremely difficult. So I put out these videos to help people understand how it works in immigration, okay? So this is the best way to move forward with your life. If you are an immigrant or if you have a family member who's an immigrant, you should check out my videos because the more you know, the better for you and your family. So check it out. It's free. Check it out, and the more education, the better for you. I'm serious. It's good stuff, and it's going to help you a lot, okay? The current topic is about bringing your spouse into the United States. It's been requested a lot since there's so many different ways of being admitted into the United States, and there's an equally complex and numerous methods needed to be able to obtain or maintain legal status inside the United States, okay? So what are the 3 most common ways to bring your spouse into the United States? That's what we're talking about right now. The first way is called derivative status. So derivative status based on an existing visa. So your sponsor has a visa, many different types of visas, has the right of a spouse or even children to be included or added later to be able to have legal status to come to the United States and to live and sometimes work, okay? So many of these derivative status type visas are business or work visas. Examples: investor visas like the E1 and E2 visa, skilled, unskilled workers. Those are H1B visas, H2A, H2B. Those are the different types of visas that people come on a temporary basis into the United States to work. There's a very popular visa. It's called the intra-company transfer visa, which is the L2 visa. So basically, you work for a subsidiary of the main office overseas, and they want to transfer you to the United States to be able to work in their home office or some different segment of the business. That's the type of visa that does it. And there's always the derivative ability of a spouse to come along with that visa holder, okay? Very important visa. There's also student visa holders, the F1 student visa. It has the right of your spouse to join you. I'm not sure if people are looking to work when they come to the United States, because you got to be very careful when you look at these visas, these derivative visas, because often the spouse doesn't have the right to work, okay? But I guess having your spouse in the United States with you is way more important. So take a look at those different types of visas. If you have one of those visas, see what applies to your derivative spouse. So that's the first. The second way to get a spouse into the United States is based on a very temporary nature, which is the tourist visa. Tourist visas can be used for people that want to be reunited. Maybe a worker has been in the United States for a year or 2 years, whatever it is, and they want their spouse to be able to come to the United States to visit them for a vacation, for example. Another very important reason to do a tourist visa is if you want your spouse to enter the United States for the purpose of trying to file for the green card process in the United States, which is called adjustment of status. So what is that? So basically, I do videos about that too. I do a whole host of videos about adjustment of status, aka green card process, in the United States. So if your spouse is able to enter the United States based on legal status of a tourist visa, they will have the ability to file for their green card process inside the United States. That's a huge perk, which a lot of people use based on the tourist visa. The third, and I think the best method for bringing a spouse into the United States is longer term, okay? Green card. You have the ability to sponsor your spouse to get a green card to enter the United States and be a legal permanent resident. If you have that ability, then you're going to be going through what's called consular processing. Consular processing is the green card process outside the United States, which falls under the State Department or the embassy, okay? So cutting to the chase and going straight to the green card process is what I recommend for everyone who has the ability to do it. Now, this is the important tip that I told you about earlier. If you've watched some of my other videos, you will remember me talking about the necessity of status. Sponsors must have certain status to be able to sponsor somebody. So only a legal permanent resident or a U.S. citizen can sponsor a family member for long-term or immigrant status, green card status. So only those people with that proper status is able to sponsor a spouse or children or other family members. So you need to make sure that you have the proper status to be able to sponsor a family member, okay? You can ask me, right? I always recommend, tip number 2 is always seek help from an attorney, an experienced immigration attorney, because this stuff is way too complex for you to try to go it alone, because you're going to get denied. It's going to cost you a lot of money, a lot of time. It's not worth trying to do it yourself. So go to an attorney. If it's not me, fine. Go somewhere else, because you're not going to be doing this on your own, okay? So the whole point of this video is, you can tell there's a ton of information about immigration out there, okay? The purposes of this video was to kind of give you a general idea of how to bring a certain type of family member, in this case a spouse, into the United States, okay? Either temporary or long-term. So because there's so many different areas, and again, like I said, my videos can give you a general sampling of how immigration works. So it gives you an idea of how you might be able to move forward with your family member. But there's no substitute for reaching out to us. So you can see this phone number below. You can reach out to us directly. You can go to our website, marvinlawoffice.com, and you can click on the banner, which will set you up with a consultation. Reach out to us is the point. There's many ways to do it. You're not going to regret it, because you want to succeed and you need me to help you do that. So give me a call. I want to help you succeed.